Hey YouTube, I'm Nicolette Amarillas. I'm an exercise coach and a posture and movement specialist, and we're going over the easiest variation of the hyperextension, or what's also known as a back extension. Now, for this exercise, you do need an actual hyperextension machine. I have one that folds down that I can have very small in my home, which I will link in the description. You'll also need tonal, or if you want to just use a dumbbell or a plate, you can also do that. A lot of the cueing will be exactly the same, but I'm going to be demonstrating on tonal today. Let's dive in. Okay, so now with this variation, we have the hyperextension equipment, and it's quite a bit farther back from tonal. So I would say this is like maybe 2 or 3 feet because we're bringing the arms out in front of us. So we need to have enough space where the arms can extend and not hit the end of the tonal arms. I like to have the tonal arms parallel to one another and the handles already attached. So we'll get into the movement by locking our heels under the pads and the balls of our feet locked into the floor and into the piece of equipment. Now I'll go over the movement mechanics in general for this exercise. So remember that the pad needs to be below the pelvis so that you can get in full hip flexion without being obstructed by the pads like this. So we don't want that. We want to definitely be high enough that the hips do not get obstructed by the pad. Now the movement itself, we're starting at the hips. So we're gonna reach the hips back, almost like someone's pulling us toward the ceiling. And that opens our upper body down in order to keep the spine straight, okay? We're gonna stretch the back of the thighs. And when we're in that stretched position here at the bottom, we're gonna find our end range. Everyone's end range is going to be a little bit different. For me, I have quite a bit of hamstring mobility, so I can get pretty low. You'll know at the end when you can no longer keep your back straight. You really want to try and only go as low as you can, being able to keep the back straight. So it's almost like you want the front of your hips to tilt toward the pad and create a little bit of an arch, kind of like you're going into an RDL if you've done an RDL before, or a straight leg deadlift. So with this one though, we're going to grab the handles when we're down. My weight is off on tonal. My arms are ahead of me. My chest is open and I'm stretching my hamstrings, keeping my spine nice and straight. From here, I'm gonna turn the weight on and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes. My glutes are gonna engage and that's what's going to lift me up. Chest stays open, shoulders stay back. Using my core and my glutes and hamstrings to lower me back down and then squeeze the glutes and lift back up. Now the key is at the bottom to not come into flexion, so no rounding of the low back. And at the top, only coming up so far that you're about in line with your legs. There's no need to come up any higher. It's not about how high you come up. It's about how you engage the glutes and the hamstrings in order to lift. With this variation, make sure your shoulders stay down and away from your ears. Really engage your lats and your back as you pull back. You are miles ahead most people in their strength training journey by integrating an exercise like this. A lot of people are fearful of this exercise, but when done correctly, it's extremely valuable for the strength of the posterior chain. I hope you integrate it, and when you do, please let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions or concerns, you know what to do. Comment below. I'm Nicolette Amarillas, and I'll see you again soon.